Hi, hello, welcome back to Insufferable with me, your host, Lindsay. How? Episode 4. Yes, girl, we're sticking to a schedule. Who would have fucking thought? I mean, I am type A, so I knew that I was going to need a schedule to do this thing, but it's just nice to have it. It's nice to have it going. I mean, 4 weeks in a row. Let's go, bitch. Let's go. Today is December 14th, 2025. Let me sit my ass down. Hi, future editing Lindsay here. I don't know why the fuck I said it was December 14th when it is most definitely June 14th of 2025. Just wanted to clear that up. Moving on. A very special day in history, I'll say, cuz I do want to start this episode by recognizing the atrocities that are happening across our country right now. The organization that goes by the name of a certain element that cools off your beverage, the place in which it is at a freezing temperature, if you know what I mean, is stirring shit up and making us all really embarrassed to be a part of this. Okay? Now, there's a giant protest going on today, as it should. And I'm going to talk about the atrocities. Okay? You can't really be out here doing your thing without acknowledging it. Okay? Some of you guys are really brainwashed and you're like, this is fine, but it's actually not fine. And I do want to clarify that I don't think it's fine. And I do have a couple of points. I wrote a couple things down because I do want to be very clear about my stance. Apprehending criminals is usually a pretty low-key procedure. Okay? What's going on outdoors over the last couple of weeks and months, not low-key. Not low-key at all. And I am a true crime consumer, and I know that's not how you get really bad people, horrible criminals. That's not how you apprehend them, okay? It's a very subtle art form, okay? What's going on right now is riling up everybody, getting that consent to then deploy people onto its citizens, which is crazy. And a lot of you guys who are not mad about it, you really be throwing a fit when you get denied service at the local diner because you wasn't wearing no damn shoes. And you talk about tyranny because they wouldn't let you come in with no shoes on. But in this instance, you're like, well, that's what happens when you don't follow the law. All right, well, this is against the law, what's going on against our own citizens, okay? So my first point is, we know at this point that DTG, DGT, whatever the fuck his name is, has walked back some of the things that he was saying. Now he's like, oh, let's not some of our farm workers and people in the leisure industry, they don't deserve this. Deserve the thing that you set everybody out to do? That's crazy that you're walking it back now. But here's my first point. The traumas have already been inflicted on children, families, working individuals, whether they have legal status or not. You've already traumatized them in a way that they may never be able to recover from. And mostly I'm talking about the kids, I don't know if you've ever been a kid and watched something like bad happen to your parent, but it is very, very traumatizing. Okay. And again, something you can't just recover from. So the damage has been done. The damage has been done. And now you want to talk about the leisure industry. Why? Because you and all your friends fucking need to go to hotels and you don't want to see the presence of people being dragged out, against their will, even though they have legal I'm not going to get too far into that because, the information is out there. We know what's true. We know what's a lie. But that brings me to another point is sometimes we don't know what's true and what's a lie, actually. You really can't believe what you see on the news anymore. And that is also by design. They do not want us to rely or be able to rely on accurate journalism anymore, And so now it's kind of like, is this real? Is this fake? Is this real? This is why we need to communicate with our neighbors, our community members. We need to be 10 toes down out there because you can't believe every infographic that comes across your social media feed. Okay. Let's not forget that during the 2020 protests, Fox News shared a video, a clip from the movie World War Z, and said it was Seattle. On that day, they were like, this is Seattle right now. And they showed a clip of World War Z. Bitch, this is a Brad Pitt movie from 7 years ago. Seattle? I don't even think the movie took place in Seattle. And if it did, it's a Hollywood production, brother. And you guys they really try to say that was what was happening on the streets. World War Z, which, by the way, is a horrible movie. It wasn't even good. It was the worst movie that Brad Pitt ever did. And I love Brad Pitt. Okay? Normally, he can't do any wrong for me. But in this instance, it was wrong. Bad movie. And to use that clip and say that it's happening right now is fucking embarrassing, bro. Anyways. Hold, please. My fucking camera just died. Okay, we're back. World War Z, dude. Can you fucking believe it? I'm surprised we didn't fucking see Brad Pitt in a goddamn clip. They had to actually search the fucking movie to make sure that there wasn't a fucking clip of Brad Pitt in the background. Imagine you're an extra in that movie and you see yourself in that clip and you're like, I'm not in Seattle right now. That's kind of what we're dealing with the old media of it all. Okay. My next point is coming online and saying, I can't believe these illegal immigrants are out here, destroying our streets and rioting and destroying property. Bitch, come on. The people who are out 10 toes down on the streets right now are not even illegal immigrants, dude. They are American citizens who either know personally an illegal immigrant or an immigrant in general, as we are all immigrants at some point, okay? And they are standing up for people who cannot stand up for themselves, okay? People who fear being on the streets right now because of the atrocities that are happening, okay? Those are Americans out there. What do you say now? You know, it's our right to protest, okay? And, some people be fucking shit up, sure. Some people be fucking shit up. But those Waymos are scary anyway, girl. I don't like them Waymos. I think they need to get off the streets, okay? And if you got to burn a couple of them down, what are you going to do? I would never do that because I am not a violent person. And I don't like to waste money. Okay, I can't even throw away like Brussels sprouts when they're bad because I know it's wasting 70 cents. So yes, sure. It's not great to destroy property. And there's always going to be a couple of people who are going to treat it like the purge. Okay, I want to remind you, those people, they are Americans. They're not the illegal immigrants that are trying to be captured at this time. Okay. My next point. Some of y'all was really mad about wearing masks during COVID because you said it would make it easier for people to kidnap and abduct others and remain anonymous because they had a mask on. Okay, let's bring that same energy when these agents, the freezing beverage agents, are in unmarked vehicles, in street clothes, masked to the gills, and they're abducting people on the roads, on the streets, going into their homes without a warrant and abducting them. Okay, so tell me how that's not making it easy for predators to be out there taking your kids and your teens and your wives and hide your wives and hide your, you know what I mean? That's what we really need to be, hiding our wives right now. Hide your kids, hide your wives, because there are plainclothes people out there abducting people from the streets. Okay. You need to don't tread on us, right, girl? Let's lift our fucking spirits and get out here and protest people being abducted from the streets, okay? And like I said before, if you are apprehending a criminal who's done, unspeakable, horrible things, which American people do all the fucking time. By the way, you act like the only people coming here doing fucking bad shit are illegal immigrants. But if they are going to come here and they're going to rape and they're going to murder, get them out. Sure. But to apprehend somebody who's done a rape and a murder and is like a horrible fucking person, you need to be fucking sly about it. Okay? Have you ever seen one fucking documentary about true crime before? The cops are fucking staking out the fucking house. They're digging through the trash to get that DNA sample. They're doing it. You have to go through hella fucking steps to be able to prosecute someone for a crime. You can't just fucking break their fucking door down, wake up the whole fucking neighborhood, and expect people to be cool with that. That's crazy work, you guys. That's crazy work. So we need to fucking cut it out. And people are going to be out there protesting if that's how you're going to fucking do it. And you're trying to get people riled up, and they will be getting riled up. That is just the situation of it all. For lack of a better phrasing, which I can't fucking stop saying of it all at the end of every fucking thing that I say. I don't know what it is. It's just something I'm saying right now. I'm also saying egregious. Everything I come across is egregious. I don't know. It's my thing. It's just what I'm doing right now. So, forgive me. Jeez. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. Okay, I was just making sure that was recording, because if it wasn't, damn, that would have been a good bunch of good stuff that got missed. I think I made all the points that I need to make about what is happening in Los Angeles right now, and especially, across the country. It's some bullshit. It's tragic, and people need to talk about it. Okay? And if you're going to abduct people who are actually not even immigrants, they're citizens, and you just abducted them because they look Mexican, the lawsuits are going to be off the hook. And that money is going, when they win those lawsuits, which they will, because it was wrong and illegal to do what happened to them, the payout for that is going to come from the taxpayer dollars. So I don't think we want to be breaking the law left and right, because I think it's going to cost us all in the end, which is some bullshit, but that's just how it fucking goes. So anyway, stand with your community, and stand up for what's right. I mean, it's basic fucking human, you know, it's human rights, bro. I don't know how to fucking explain it to you guys who fucking hate your neighbors. Like, you are more insufferable than me, and that is really hard to do. You are really out here with it, and that's fucking embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. Stop being a fucking asshole. And that's all I got to say about that for now. This episode comes out on Monday. It's Saturday, so if some crazy fucking shit happens between now and Monday and I haven't reported on it, I mean, I'm not going to be reporting on it because that's not what this podcast is, but I do need to mention it. I do need to acknowledge it. And I do need to say that if you are a fucking big meanie, that's really embarrassing. And you should be embarrassed for yourself. So, if anything happens over the weekend, I am sorry I haven't gotten there yet in time. In you know, that's just physics or whatever. In other news, I've been watching the show Tires. And I just want to say, I love it. I really love it. There's something that, you know, we kind of need a show like that. We need a office type show to quell the anxiety that we are all constantly going through in this timeline that we are living through. You know, that's why people rewatch The Office, because A, it's funny, and B, it's calming. It's, you know, there's like no music in it. It's like only dialogue. You know, the camera work is funny. Like, we need that. We need that. And it's important, you know, that we have something like that on TV. Now, the cast, you know, whether you like those guys or you don't like those guys, they're kind of giving the new, like, Seth Rogen, James Franco, Michael Cera, Jonah Hill, you know what I mean? That crew, which I also love, you know, I guess everybody except for damn Jonah Hill and damn James Franco. That's another thing, is why can't I fucking be a fan of any of you guys without it coming out that you're a fucking creep? That's disappointing to me. Let me have my fandom without having to be like, don't tell me you're a fucking toxic boyfriend. Don't tell me you're emotionally abusing your fucking girlfriend and now she's telling everybody and sharing all the screenshots, Jonah. That's an old story. I mean, that happened a couple years ago, but it's just like, I used to fucking love Jonah Hill, dude. And he was like one of the people that I really wanted to like work with and collaborate with. And that fucking movie, I think it's called The Late 90s, about like the fucking kids skating or whatever. That movie was so good. He's got a good eye. He's really talented, you know? Like, you really didn't want your girlfriend, she's a fucking surfer, and you didn't want her to post any fucking pictures of her in a bikini surfing a wave? I mean, the insecurities are loud. They're screaming. They're screaming. So, yeah, sometimes we can't. This is why we can't have nice things, because men be menning, and it's very annoying and tragic. But what are you going to do, you know? I mean, we could speak out. We can speak out. We can say, hey, stop raping. Stop being fucking weird. Stop being abusive. God. But anyway, Tires. This is my formal, official plea to be on the show Tires. Okay? And, you know, I used to be an actor. Some of you know. Some of you don't. I used to really be into acting. And I wanted to get me that Oscar. Okay? But then I kind of fell out of that, you know? Like, being in Hollywood kind of seems cringy to me. And, well, not cringy, but it just seems like it's not for me. But I do think that I could get a little, you know, a little small role here and there, and that could probably like scratch the itch of me wanting to, you know, act. But now that I got all these damn tattoos, I fear my casting it's getting pretty narrow. It's narrowing down, and that's okay. I think here's my pitch, guys from Tires. I could be a fucking barista in any show. Right? I don't have the bangs anymore, but I got the tattoos and I got the septum ring. Okay. I could fucking be a barista. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if you've watched Tires? Like, imagine fucking Shane Gillis goes to the goddamn coffee shop and I'm the fucking barista and he's trying to get a simple drink and I'm a fucking bitch. I'm a stupid, like, liberal bitch to him. And we have a little tit for tat. That would be fucking funny, dude. I could be good at that. So, this is my official audition to be a barista in at least one scene on Tires. That'd be sick. That'd be sick. And you know what I also like about Tires is they have that fucking girl on it. The girl who plays Shane Gillis's love interest, I guess you could say. I don't remember her name. But she is fucking funny, dude. She is a star. She is a fucking star, dude. Her Instagram is fucking hilarious. All of her skits are a genius. Like, she's just a funny fucking girl. And I love her, and I love that she's on that show. I really do. Like, I don't know if she has an agent or whatever, like, however she got on that. But they done picked the perfect fucking show for her to be on. I hope we see her more. I hope that she's in season 2, if there's a season 2. Well, I hope there's a season 2 as well, because, like, I need to be a barista or whatever and have an argument with any of those guys, really. Could be Shane. Could be, well, damn, I don't know anybody else's name. I really fucked up by bringing up this topic, and I don't even know any of the actors on the show, but yeah. I really think that I could just be a barista in any comedic show. And I think it could be fun. So if you are a producer or director and you're looking for a barista who can be a raging fucking bitch, hi. I will cut my baby bangs again. I'll cut them to fit the role. Or we could pin them on or whatever. I'm not doing a pixie cut though. And I will not be dyeing my hair blue. You're going to have to wake me up if you want that from me. But yeah, give me that barista role. I guess it could be like an art dealer too. I could do like an Ongo Gablobian type thing. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, hey, Tires guys, casting directors, hi. Hello, I am Lindsay Howe, and I'll be reading for the role of Bitchy Barista for the show Tires. I am 5 foot exactly, and I'm based in Los Angeles, California. That's my slate. That's my self-tape opening. If you want to send me sides, send them over, because I'm ready. I think that could be really fun. So yeah. In other news... Wow, I'm like, okay, what are some hot topics going on right now that I could talk about in the pod? Tell me why it's the year anniversary of the Hawk Tuah girl. Why is that news? Why did that come up? And why did she get so much out of that? I mean, those street interview situations, I think we need to move on from that kind of content. The street interview content, it's not good. It's bad. Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be funny. And, Hawk Tuah, she is likely set for life now because of that. And part of me wishes that I could have a career trajectory in that way. But I don't know if that would be satiating for me, knowing that that's how I got famous. I got all my opportunities from talk about Hawk Tua on a guy's dick. So I don't know if I'd be happy with that trajectory, but I don't know. I would like some kind of trajectory. It could be me being a barista on tires. But yeah, I guess I wouldn't really be happy if that happened to me. But I'm happy for her. And I do know that she did like a crypto scam shortly after her big break, doing the Hawk Tua thing. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know the girl. I don't know her personally. I didn't watch her podcast, which honestly had a good name. Whoever came up with the Talk Tua podcast name deserves a raise, because that is, that's low-key genius, and somebody deserves like some, like real credit for that. So I didn't watch the podcast, didn't listen to it. I honestly don't listen to a lot of podcasts. I do like to listen to podcasts. Like I liked listening to our girl Vanilla Mace. She doesn't do her podcast anymore, at least right now. But I have been able to catch up on. I just found out about her recently, so I've been able to catch up on. She has like some 60 episodes or something like that. So I'm still catching up on hers. I really like hers. I like how chill it is. Trixie and Katya, the Bald and the Beautiful. I'm sad. Every time they upload, I'm sad, dude, because I am Katya. And insert any of my like closest friends are Trixie. And I am Katya. And that's how my dynamic is with all of my friends. So that's why I really love that show. I don't know if you guys can see my dog in the frame. He is laying right over here, and he is having a dream right now, and he's huffing and puffing, and I don't know if you can hear that. Okay, he stopped. So anyways, yeah, Trixie and Katya, love that podcast. Love The Sesh with Kendall Ray and Janelle, her cousin. That one's really cool. I kind of turn to them for my news source. And by news source, I mean the hot topics. You know what I mean? They're not covering breaking news or anything, but yeah. If I need to know what the hot topics are, like what's going on social media, TikTok specifically, I'm going to Marky's channel. Marky gives me everything I need to know about what's happening on TikTok, because I don't really be on TikTok like that. But as soon as something gets 1 million views, Marky is reporting on it. And he's very unbiased. He's very neutral. He'll be like, I didn't see this post because it has since been deleted, but somebody took a screenshot of it, but this could be a fake screenshot, but let's read it. Keep in mind, I don't know if this is real. Like, he's pretty neutral with it, and he doesn't claim anyone's side either, which is also pretty admirable for today's media. So there's that. Podcasts, kind of only podcasts that I listen to, really. But yeah, Hawk Tua, she had herself a podcast. I don't know if it's still going on. I wonder if it is. Maybe I should search it up. No, I'm not going to search it up. It's going to waste some time. But yeah, I did want to fill you guys in on my week, this past week, and also the week before. It kind of ties into the manifestation of it all. I manifested another thing, and I wasn't specific enough with my manifestation, so I'm going to tell you about that. Last week, I went to make a piece of toast and took the butter out of the fridge, and the butter was melted. And I realized that my fridge had broken Everything in the fridge was not cold to the touch. And that was really unfortunate because I had just went to Costco and got hella fucking groceries at Costco. Hella fucking groceries at Costco. And I didn't really know how. I mean, it had probably only been a day since the fridge broke. But low key, I had been manifesting getting a new fridge because the fridge I have is gross. It's nasty. It's old. It's decrepit. It smells even when it's empty. Like, I clean it all the time. I got the baking soda in there. You know, it's just, it's not a good, it wasn't a good fridge. And I was like really manifesting getting a good fridge. But I knew deep down that if I were to get a new fridge, the circumstance would have to be this one breaks. Okay. And I'm like, I'm obviously not going to break the fridge myself because who fucking knows if my landlord is going to come through and, you know, bring me a fridge. Like, I don't know how he's going to honor that. So instead, the fridge broke on its own and I manifested that. I wanted a new fridge and I knew that the one that I had was going to have to break in order to get one. So that manifestation came through. The price that I had to pay was losing a bunch of groceries that I had just bought. Okay. Luckily, my freezer was still kind of intact. But I did take my, wild caught salmons to my neighbor who graciously lent me her freezer for the few days that I was going to be without a working fridge or freezer. Sadly, it did take 4 days to get a new refrigerator. My landlord did come through and he said, you know, we'll get you a new one. But I'm gonna order it. It's gonna take like 3 days. And then on that 4th day, if it's ready to deliver, they'll hit me up 30 minutes before they're gonna deliver it type shit. So for the next 4 days, I was crippled with anxiety. I don't know why not having a working fridge like just put me out of my entire routine. You know, throwing away all that food that, you know, it got wasted and that was very hard for me to cope with. But it does turn out that most of my condiments that I had in that fridge were expired in 2022 anyway. So those needed to get thrown away. And I like a fresh start. I think it's nice to just get all new shit. Like, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to like get a whole new wardrobe or whatever. I mean, we don't want to be wasteful, but it is nice and fun to get a bunch of new shit. So I was like, okay, let's go through. Let's see what we could salvage here in the fridge. I thought I could salvage all of those condiments because it's like, you don't even really need to put them in the fridge. You know, most of the stuff, you know, like the hot sauce and stuff, it doesn't really need to be in the fridge. I put it in the fridge because I'm white and for some reason we do that. But it turns out it was hella fucking expired anyway. I'm talking like 3 years ago. So everything had to go. And then I had to just fucking wait until the new fridge came. I don't know why I couldn't do anything. I was crippled with anxiety waiting for the new fridge to come. 4 days. I just felt like I couldn't do anything, which is so lame and shouldn't be like that. But, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. That is just how it goes sometimes. So I got me a new fridge. I manifested myself a new fridge. And a couple of, I think it was like last year or the year before, my stove broke. And my landlord brought me a new stove. And when he brought it, it was like a nice stove. It was all digital. It's black and stainless steel. It has a cast iron skillet like down the center of it with 4 burners. Like, I was really surprised when he brought that in. I thought he was going to bring me some janky ass stove. And he didn't. It wasn't a janky ass stove. I was like, okay, this is fucking nice. I wasn't expecting this. And I've been using it. And it's digital. It's really nice. So when the fridge broke, I was like, okay, hold on. He might actually bring me a nice fridge. What if he brought me a stainless steel fridge? Like, that would be so cool. Like, this was after the fact. Okay. And I fear my manifestation was already in the ether. Okay. They didn't know I wanted a stainless steel fridge. They just knew I wanted a new fridge. So the delivery comes, and what kind of fridge did I get? Say it with me. The landlord special. An ugly ass white fridge. It's got wire racks on the inside too. It doesn't even have like a flat surface to set anything down on the inside. It's all wire. Bro, the landlord special, dude. And you know what? At least it's new. It is brand new. It's not used. So that's cool. It works. That's, I guess, at the end of the day, that's all I really need. But it was pretty sad for me to not get the nice fridge that I was hoping to get. I really wanted to get a nice fridge, but I didn't got the fucking landlord special. So that's whatever. I was able to go to the grocery store, re-up on all of my groceries, and now my life is back to normal. And, you know, I don't even really use anything in the fridge. I don't know why it set me back so fucking bad, but it happens that way sometimes. We're back to normal. We're streamlining. You know, everything's cool now. So I manifested that successfully. Very easy for me to do. There's another manifestation story that I forgot to tell on the last episode where we were talking about manifestation. And I want to tell it because it sort of taps into another, how you say, level of manifesting that you can't really escape this. Like, this is, you know, you need to pay attention to this kind of stuff. So back in 2019, I created my first collection of t-shirts for my brand, Nothing Special. A lot of you guys were there for this. If you're listening to this, you probably were there at the event. But the whole thing is I design a collection, whether it be shirts or whatever it may be, and then I release it at a pop-up. And I'm really passionate about doing events. Pop-ups, you know, submersive experiences, like that is my shit. If I had a budget, girl, I would be putting on some motherfucking events. I should be an event planner. And I'm not talking about no fucking weddings. I'm talking about I want to put on events for shit that I care about. But so yeah, I designed these shirts, and the collection was called Bread and Butter, and I was putting on an event in where you know, the t-shirts would be available and people could buy them there, and there's drinks, and I had a bread spread, if you will. I had a whole table filled with all different kinds of bread and butter because the collection was called Bread and Butter. So I really wanted to create I had a space, like a friend of mine had a studio space where they did photography. So I was able to like use that for the event. And I really wanted to like submersively create like a bakery inside this small studio, you know, with like baking racks, you know, when they slide the big pans and stuff. Like, I wanted to do all of that kind of stuff. But mind you, I'm a one-man show, okay? I designed the shirts. I got them fucking printed. I folded them all, got them ready for, selling, and did all of the inventory and, paid for all of that. Meanwhile, I'm working at a restaurant. I'm making no money. Putting on this event, like, really fucked me up royally. Like, my body was like... I was so sick by the end of it. By the time the event finally came around, like, I was fucking, like, I felt like I had, like, pneumonia or some shit. Like, my body was shutting down. Like, I was so stressed. But I loved every minute of it, low key. But I was vlogging sort of the experience of, doing the whole thing, setting everything up, like, planning and executing this event and collection, like, all at once, like, all by myself, Um, and my budget when I do stuff, I have a hair on my tongue. Okay. My budget when I do stuff, it's low as fuck, girl. I'm talking like a $7 budget. Okay. I got a really good deal on the shirts, even though that was a lot of money that I spent getting the shirts printed. I used actually nice shirts. I didn't use no $2 fucking Gildan bullshit. Like, I had really nice shirts and really cool designs and a couple different colors and whatever. But yeah, I was vlogging the experience, and I remember I needed to get knives for the bread and butter station. I needed knives so people could spread the butter on the bread. And it turns out nobody fucking sells knives. What the fuck? I was going to all these different stores looking for, plastic knives, like for a fucking picnic, and all I could find was spoons and forks. And I have this video of myself vlogging myself, and I think I'm in like a Big Lots or something, and I'm like, I've been to like 20 stores and I can't find any knives. I was giving JFK. I was giving fucking zombie voice, dude. Like, I couldn't even barely fucking talk. Please hold. The camera died. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. I do have quite the janky setup when it comes to doing this pod right now. Like I said, the budget when I put on productions or events is very low. So please forgive me as I am working with what I have. Anyways, I don't remember where I left off. With that story. Oh, I was looking for knives, and I was really fucking sick, and I also hadn't eaten in like a couple of days. Like, low key, I didn't have any money to eat. I think I was eating like, the shit that was getting sent back at work type shit like that. Like, yeah, it was bad. And I didn't have a car. I didn't have a car either. So I had to take Ubers everywhere. And mind you, I'm fucking broke, girl. I'm broke. I don't have any money. I'm fucking taking Ubers. Like, yeah, man, it was a rough time. And so, yeah, I remember seeing my dad one day, and I was hella fucking sick and I was stressed out. And he was like, have you eaten at all? And I'm like, no, I haven't eaten. I haven't even been able to eat anything, but it's fine. Low key, I was like, it's okay. As soon as we get to the pop-up, I'm going to have hella fucking bread and butter, because I already have I've been collecting bread and butter, for, handmade butters from, chef friends of mine, by the way. I was like, I'll eat at the pop-up. I'll eat when that is successfully going and the event is happening, and that's when I'll fucking have my meal. But my dad handed me the rest of the money that was in his pocket, which was $7. And he was like, why don't you get yourself something to eat? And gave me that $7. And I remember saying, I'll probably get knives if I can find them. So that was me really trying to fucking make it happen with no money, and me stressing about trying to find like some of the simplest items that I needed. Knives, why were they so fucking hard to find? There's just no reason why. So anyway, I remember one night I was laying on my bed rock bottom, dude, stressed the fuck out, trying to, put all this together, make it fucking happen. And I asked the universe, I said, you know what I really fucking need? I need $3,000. $3,000 could amplify the in-person experience of this event to an extent that nobody will, like, people will remember this. Like, this will actually be a really fun time for people to come to, and it'll be memorable. Like, I knew that that was something that could happen if I had, $3,000 to pull that all together. And I'm laying on my bed. I remember the moment too. I'm laying on my bed. I'm like, fucking $3,000, dude. $3,000. I could really use that. Fast forward to, that Friday, we all got our paychecks at work, where I was working at the restaurant, and I was working like 3 shifts a week, dude. I was working maybe 30 hours. Maybe 30 hours a week. And maybe not even, I'm like 25, like really not a lot of hours. So my paychecks were like $250, $300 if I'm lucky. And then obviously I was making tips too, and I was saving all that cash to pay my fucking bills, because also, by the way, I still have to pay all my bills while I'm trying to put on this fucking event or whatever. And so I got my paycheck direct deposited, and I looked at it in my account, and instead of it being $250, it was $3,250. And I was like, hold the phone. This has to be a mistake. I didn't really put 2 and 2 together that I literally asked for $3,000 from the universe like a couple days before, when I was rock bottom, crying on my bed, asking for extra money to put this event on. And the event was the following week. Like, it was only a couple days away at this point. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, something has happened. And the guilt was eating away at me, because the girl who was the manager at the time, she was the general manager, like, her and I were pretty tight. We were pretty tight. She respected me a lot. And, she just wasn't like your normal manager. Like, she was really fucking chill. And I would never want to jeopardize her job in any way. So I immediately got guilty. Like, I felt guilt about this obvious mistake that happened. Like, I didn't make no damn $3,000 fucking dollars at this job. Like, I know I didn't. Like, I didn't work that many hours. Like, nobody's getting paid that on their paycheck. So after like a day or two of it like eating away at me, I went in for my shift, and I went to the back office, and I said, hey girl, I need to talk to you about my check. And she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I think it's off. And then I explained to her that it was $3,000 more than what I'm normally getting paid. And she was like, oh, fuck. Like, I obviously put it in wrong. Like, she put in the numbers wrong in the payroll. And she was like, yeah, I could lose my job over this. And I'm like, all right, well, luckily I've already been having anxiety about it this whole time. So let's just fucking sort it out. I don't want to keep it. I was thinking in my head too, like, if I spend it and then they ask me back for it later, I'm not going to have it. At this point, I had never had $3,000 in the account. So if they asked me to pay it back to them after I spent it, it would take me, months. If I'm making $250 every other week at the job, what's the math on that? $250, that's $500 per month. Okay. That's what, 4 or 5 months. Like, I'm not going to try to do math right now, but that's several months of payback. And that's everything that I'm making. I'm paying back to them because I spent that $3,000. So like, I don't know. I was having fucking hell anxiety about it. She could have lost her job if I would have never said anything. I don't know if later she would have been able to ask me to pay it back, or the owners could have asked me to pay it back. I don't fucking know. But her and I were like low key figured it out, which was actually lame. I had to go to the bank and take it out in cash, bring it back to her so she could low key deposit it in some other kind of sketchy way, to even out the labor of that 2 weeks or whatever it was. You know what I mean? I had to give it back to her in cash. I had to go to the fucking bank and get it. And I was so sad. And then later I was like, fuck, I actually manifested $3,000 and I got it. But the other level to that is, you know, who are you sacrificing to get your wishes to come true? You know, like, I think there's a movie about that, or there's probably stories or whatever about like, you can have whatever you wish, but every time one of your wishes comes true, someone in the world dies. You take someone's life so you can fucking wish upon a goddamn star or whatever. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't want stuff to come to me because I sacrificed another person's whole ass life so I could get 3 G's. Bro, I live in Los Angeles County. 3 G's ain't gonna last fucking no time at all. I could spend that in a month and a half just on bills alone. So, you know, people spend that at the grocery store for their families if sick. You know what I mean? It's like 3Gs really isn't going to, you know, it's not a life-changing situation for me. It would have been event-changing for me had I been able to get that $3,000 3 months prior to that, when I was actually building the set and state, like, you know, staging the event in my head and my dream boards and all this kind of stuff. But like, I could only do so much with the money that I had. So the dream boards were not, you know, as extravagant as I would have liked them to be. I was sort of just, you know, working with what I had at that time. But if I had $3,000 at the beginning, I could have fucking made the whole thing a bakery. I could have made that fucking happen. But that's not how it works. It's not how it works. So, I had to give back the $3,000. And I was like, okay, like, this is a manifestation that came true, but I feel like I'm being tested for my morality, you know? Like, am I really going to, like, let her lose her job so I could do this? And the event was already coming up. It was only like 3 or 4 days away at that point. So the $3,000 that, like, by the time it was deposited in my account, it wouldn't have made that big of a difference in the quality of the event at that point. Like, I was already so deep in, I already had everything I needed for the type of event that I was going to throw. So, you know, sometimes you got to just, you know, and I was talking to a friend about this story and they were like, well, it turns out you did. They were like, oh, did you actually throw the event? Like, was it successful? And I was like, yeah, it was. It was successful. Everybody came. I sold a shit ton of shirts. Everything was cool. Everything was chill. Like, it really went off without a hitch. And I think is that a saying? Went off without a hitch? I think that's a saying. It went off with no issues. And this friend of mine was like, well, then you didn't need the $3,000 to make it happen. Like, you thought you needed it to make it happen, but you actually didn't. It happened without it because you gave it back. So maybe that was the universe telling me, like, hey, like, you know, we'll give you the $3,000, but it's not really going to make a big difference in the event. And you asked for it specifically for the event, and it's not going to make a difference. So they gave it to me, they, as in the universe, gave it to me as a lesson, I guess, to be like, you know, money can't buy you everything, and you already put your blood, sweat, and tears into this, and, you know, It's gonna go off without a hitch, whether you have this 3Gs or not. We'll give it to you, but you don't need it, type shit. So the universe, it works in mysterious ways. Some of those ways I don't really appreciate, but it is what it is. And what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? But yeah, that is the story of another thing that I manifested. And I'm really good at it. And I hope that if you listen to the manifestation episode, which I think was episode 3, that you learned a little bit and believe in your mind and soul that you can manifest what you want. Okay? I'm manifesting going out with Chappelle Lacey. I am obsessed with Chappelle Lacey, dude. It's the cheerleading thing that really got me. If you don't know who Chappelle Lacey is, he's a comedian and a TV personality, allegedly. I looked him up on Google the other day. It was talking about TV personality. I don't know what TV show he's been on. I'd like to see him on Tires. I like to be the barista that he orders coffee from on Tires. How about that? How about all of my worlds collide? And I meet Chappelle Lacey whilst doing my barista role on Tires, and we hit it off. How about that? How about that, universe? Chappelle Lacey, he's a fucking comedian, and he used to do like professional cheerleading. And I don't know why, ever since I found that out, I was like, I love you. I'm obsessed. I mean, he's so cute and he's so funny and he has very cute teeth and he has huge forearms. I will get got by some forearms, bro. Like, sign me up. This is my official plea to hit it off with Chappelle Lacey. Whether we're dating or whether, you know what I mean? We're not going to be dating, but I'm just saying, I want to meet the guy. I want to be friends. I want to hang out. I want to work with, type shit. You know who else I'm obsessed with? Ian Finance. I am going to look him up because I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, but he is another comedian who I am currently obsessed with. Ian Finance. Ah! He is so fucking cute. I don't know how to explain to people that these two men are my type. They couldn't be any more different from each other, okay? But these two guys, this is my dream blunt rotation. And I'm the blunt in that situation, if you know what I mean. Like, I just really love them both. I just like a man. I don't want to be this way, okay? I'm on a rasta, baby, I was born this way. You think I want to fucking like men? No, I don't. But it's a biological fucking response, okay? It's in my DNA. I like a man. That's why I am compelled by forearms, dude. What the fuck? Men are like, oh, I love tits, I love ass. I like forearms. How the fuck am I supposed to explain that? But anyway, I'm really obsessed with those two men right now. And I would like to do a barista scene with either one of them on the show Tires. I'm really kind of just I'm wrapping up this episode in a way where everything that I want, see, you have to be really specific with your manifestations. So what I want, okay, you heard it here first. What I want is to be on the show Tires as a barista. And in the scene is either Chappelle Lacey or Ian Fidance. And I get to be mean to them in the scene, and they are either mean to me back, or they cower to me in the scene because I am so mean and I am a liberal barista. Okay. And then outside of that scene, outside of that working environment, myself and Chappelle Lacey and or Ian Fidance, we all hit it off and we're all really good friends. And maybe they love me or maybe they don't. Okay. Well, not maybe they don't. I don't want to manifest that. I want them to like me. And maybe we're homies. Like, I think that could be fun. And, we had a working relationship and it was great. And that's what I'm manifesting. Okay. And I'm also manifesting I get paid a pretty good amount to do that barista role. And maybe I'm a recurring character. Maybe I'm the new coffee shop around the corner, and maybe it's, decently priced coffee and the guys don't mind buying coffee there. Okay. Maybe, I'm not trying to write my role, I can play other roles than baristas, but aesthetically, I feel like I'm pinned down to the barista role because of the way I look. And I don't even have the bangs anymore. I will cut them for the role if I need to. I'll go back to the baby bang situation of it all. But yeah, I don't know. Comment below if you think that what other kind of roles I could play. I couldn't really play like a gangster or whatever. I remember, I think Vanilla Mace, she played like a prisoner or something, like a gang member in a prison or whatever. It's because she's got some tattoos. I think they gave her a face tattoo, but she has a shaved head. She's got bleached hair shaved. And yeah, they had her playing some fucking like gangsta in some show. I saw a clip of it. She was wearing like a wife beater tank top and like some fucking prison outfit or whatever. I couldn't do that, dude. Maybe I could. Maybe I could play a gangsta, but I got floral tattoos. I don't know if that's gonna make me look hard or soft. The idea in getting those floral tattoos was to look soft. But I do understand that tattoos in general be looking hard. So I don't know. You guys tell me what you think I could play, if I were to somehow stumble upon some acting roles. Yeah. I was in an Uber commercial in 2022 or 2021 with my best friend Sarah. Hold please. The camera died. Okay, we're back. I did do a Uber commercial, and well, actually, it was for, I think they call it print, because it was just photos, it wasn't video or whatever. But I was in a Uber print ad, where with my best friend Sarah, in which they used the photos for just like Uber ads or whatever. But there was a picture of Sarah and I in the back of an Uber, and we're supposed to be like laughing, like ha ha ha, whatever. And my hand is up, and you could see my palm tattoo in this Uber ad. And I was like, damn, this is really, I never thought I'd be able to get a role with a palm tattoo. Girl, it's not subtle. So that's why I fear, and that's going to be really hard to cover too. If you wanted me to play some fucking Annie Lennox in the damn Secret Garden, I probably couldn't do that. I probably have to wear a fucking glove the whole time. Hollywood Magic, I'm sure they could figure it out if they needed to, but they're not going, I'm not such a good actor that they're going to figure out how to cover up my fucking palm tattoo, dude. I'm gonna need a role where I could keep all my tats visible. So if you guys know of any roles that you think I could probably slay with all these tattoos, that'd be cool. Maybe there's an agent out there that specializes in getting people roles as a, tattooed girl. And how much you want to fucking bet it's going to be a goddamn barista? And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I'll play a barista. I ain't got no fucking beef with that at all. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll get back into the old acting situation if I can get some cool roles. Maybe I'm the only one who can play them type shit. But, yeah, those are my manifestations for today. I will check back if any of them come true. I know I said a lot of them in the last episode. I made a list of stuff that I was manifesting. And if any of those come to fruition, I will report back. And then you can, you don't have to be so scared of manifestation. You might be like, oh, we can actually do this. So the camera died again. What are you going to do? But that will conclude today's episode. Take care of your neighbors. Please keep an eye out for the egregious things that are happening on our streets in our country right now. It is important that we stick up for each other because, it can happen to any of us. If it's happening to anyone, it can happen to you as well. So just keep that in mind. If you have to self-center an issue to believe in it, whatever. We'll take what we can get right now. But yeah, we need to protect each other and make sure that we are, standing up for our rights as Americans and citizens of this nation. It's some bullshit going on out there. I will be leaving some resources in the description of this episode. Stuff that is credible, and I know that it's accurate and good to, work with. Some of these organizations are actually who they say they are. So I'll be linking those resources below. Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of Insufferable with me, your host, Lindsay. I will see you next Monday. Okay, love you. Bye.